Do you see the look on my face? Okay, it's not a good day. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Baby Lion Hotshot Trucking channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you want to follow along on the Hotshot trucking journey, going from a non-CDL to a CDL to a semi-truck and beyond, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate the support and all the likes that you guys give on the videos. I really appreciate that. It lets me know if I'm doing a good job and what you want to see more of or less of. So with that being said, we're going to get right into it. $4,000 in 3 days as a non-CDL hotshot setup. How did I do that?
Average. Hey.
I didn't profit $4,000. I grossed $4,000. Let me tell you the story about how I got this load. It was Friday. I went on truckstop.com. I looked up loads, and I even changed my filters to 11,000 pounds instead of my usual 10,000 pounds because I said, you know what? Times are getting tough out there. What if someone puts 10,001 pounds? The filter's going to knock it off. And honestly, if I was a shipper, I would put that even if it wasn't, just because I know that that would knock off most of the non-CDLs. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is to get 14 ply tires over 10 ply tires, but we'll get to that in a second. So how did I end up getting this load? It was Friday. I needed a Monday load or a Tuesday. I wasn't forced to leave because I was at home. That's the way to do it when you're getting a load from home. Find the best load. Get a good load going out. Okay, so I called on truckstop.com. I called a load that didn't have a posted rate. Then I negotiated with them after hearing the specs. It had 3 drops. It was a tarp load going 1,000 miles out to Colorado. That's a dead zone. I know that from experience, so that helped me in my negotiations. We discussed a $2,500 rate. I said I didn't even really want to take it at that, but I said, okay, I'll do it. So I had about 60 miles of deadhead to go to Kentucky to pick this thing up. It was about 11,000 pounds, a little bit less than 11,000, like 10,600. And it was sheet metal or like sheet aluminum. So it was pretty low on my trailer, had a low center of gravity. And I had to, so the tarps laid real well. It was boxy. It wasn't anything awkward. But man, when they set that on my trailer, my truck was like, doof. I was like, oh man, I need to go to Colorado with this. So anyways, I acted normal. I'm like, cool. Went up front, tarped it. Also, I'm not really that great at tarping. I had to tarp it and then I had to like re-tarp it. But I've learned that you tarp the tarp to the actual load and then use your straps to have the load to your trailer. You don't tarp the tarp to your trailer. That's tip number 3. So I hope I'm giving you value by giving you all these little tips that I've learned the hard way. I was very careful in talking to the forklift driver of which load goes where. Just point to the, is it labeled? Okay, Commerce City?
Yeah, that's going to be your Irondale.
Or this is Irondale.
Your first stop.
First stop.
2 skids that say Elward in the back, that's in the front, on top.
Okay.
Lakewood, that's your second stop.
They had to, depending on where I was going first, load this one first, load this one second, load this one third. And then I even filmed him telling me so I didn't have to forget. So that's another tip. After I got all done tarping it, I realized that one of my tires was a little bit low in pressure. So I went over to the tire plaza across the street and I started thinking, I don't want to get stuck in Kansas. I don't know if it was flat, but it may have been. And I don't want to get stuck in Colorado or Kansas in the middle of nowhere with a blown tire. So $800 later, I'd rather change them out now for 14 ply tires than get stuck in Kansas for $1,000 tow bill and four new tires anyways. Because if that happened, I'd definitely change them out. So once again, the day has come. When you buy a trailer, you might as well just do this in the first place. From there, I reset my mileage on my truck because I want to see exactly how many miles this whole run's going to be, and then how much money I grossed. And I'm going to do the calculations when I get home. Okay, I'm not trying to put in, all right, I did 60 miles of deadhead here, I did 30 miles of deadhead here, I did 100 miles of deadhead. No. Okay, my truck's going to tell me how much I drove, and my bank account's going to tell me how much money I grossed. And then from that, you can get your rate per mile. On the way out there, okay, I've learned that fuel prices in the middle of the plain states are the best fuel rates in the country, okay? I saw everything was like $5 and $6 a pop. I was stopped at this fuel station, it was $4.50. Now I filled up my auxiliary tank at this gas station at this Casey's, which is another tip. Never go to truck stops if you are a hotshot, okay? You have the ability to go to these smaller gas stations, not pay truck stop gas prices. Anyways, I filled up my whole entire tank. I hauled ass down the road. I eventually run out. So I'm like, cool, I don't have to stop at a fuel station. I can just use my auxiliary fuel pump. Well, I set up the camera for you guys to show you how fast I could fill up my tank, and it was everything but. The cord, which you can't really see in this video, to my auxiliary tank that I connect to my battery under my hood to get power to it because I don't have it hardwired, was stuck underneath the tank that shifted over the wire. Okay, so I was trying, in a full fuel tank, I was trying to move 100 gallons, okay? It wasn't budging. It's freezing. My cords are stuck underneath the, it's windy. It's cold, it's windy. Yeah, 37. Okay, it's cold, it's windy, it's 37 degrees. My cords are stuck underneath the fuel tank that I just filled up. 100 gallons worth, or there's probably about like 80 gallons worth of diesel in there. Man, that makes me mad. Oh, and it's, yeah, 2:37, can you see that? Yeah, 2:37 in the morning. I'm in the middle of Kansas. Oh man, that makes me mad. It said, feels like 10 degrees outside. It was dark, and it was windy, it was whipping, okay? That's why they have all the windmills out in the windmill states. Eventually, the next morning, I wake up in the Walmart parking lot, and I start my trek. And the snow just continues to get worse and worse. It didn't get all too bad, thank God, because I was worried. But I finally got to my stops, and those forklift guys I had called ahead of time at each location, and they unloaded me quickly, okay? Because I'm racing against the clock to book another load to grab back home. So, one forklift guy unloads me, 2 forklift guys unload me, 3 forklift guys unload me, and all those stops are within 20 minutes of each other. So 2 stops are within 1 minute of each other, and then 1 stop was 20 minutes away. Go unload that, and then I go 2 pickup locations in Denver, Colorado. One's a car, and one was a 5-foot space of my trailer for $750 heading back east. I don't really have a lot of footage of the loads going back because at this point I was just so damn tired. I just wanted to get home. And I was sick of looking on the load boards, okay? And even if you do have a dispatcher, okay, they're not gonna find you the greatest loads all the time. So not only are you gonna be paying more out of pocket for your dispatcher, you're just not even gonna get that great of loads. You can get the load boards and see exactly what they're seeing. So is it really worth it? Yeah, you won't have to be sitting on there, but you're still gonna have to wait for when they tell you what load to get. Also, you have to be able to trust them to negotiate for you. And I just don't think that I can trust someone to negotiate as good as I can. With that being said, the numbers going back were $750 and then a $400 car, that I put on my trailer going to Arkansas. Okay, one drop was the $750 drop was in the middle, and then I brought the car all the way to Arkansas. So that's $1,150, and then I had a $400 car going back up home, about an hour away from my house. So that's $1,550 plus the $2,500, and that's how I got the $4,050 for 3 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I was back home. And after all the math is said and done, I brought in $4,050. The mileage that I ran was 2,200 miles on my odometer that I started from the beginning of that trip. Then I subtracted it, and I ended up with $1,850 for those 3 days of profit. If Hotshot sounds like something that you want to get into, go ahead and do it, okay? Click the subscribe button and follow along my journey, because I'm going to give you the number after my expenses. And all of my expenses equal about $1 a mile. So I'm not going to forget to give you the real numbers here on the Baby Lion Hotshot Trucking channel. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and stay tuned. I have some more stuff planned. Like, I'm gonna advertise in my town with 8 4x8 billboard signs all over the roads around here, and we're gonna get to see if advertising really does pay. I'll see you then, guys. Peace.